some positive news on the vaccine manufacturing front. Global financiers have come together to fund Aspen Pharmacare so it can boost the manufacturing of the COVID-19 vaccine. The International Finance Corporation, France, Germany and the USA have announced a joint financing package of 10 billion rand for vaccines for Africa. And let's discuss this now with the CEO of Aspen, Stephen Saad. Thank you so much for joining us. I was chatting to Gary Boyson a little earlier, and he says the market's still trying to work out exactly what this means, because there is some discussion about dealing with your debt to enable you to grow. Tell us what it actually does mean.
So I think, firstly, this is all about capacitating Africa and how we capacitate Africa for vaccines and future pandemics. So the loan itself is a commercial loan. It's not a grant. It's not for free. It's like you go to a bank and get a loan. It's no better or worse. Really, it's very much in line with the existing facilities we have. So we simply are refinancing existing facilities. I think the key commercial difference for us is the partners we have here are very influential and very committed to capacitating Africa. You've got people in the World Bank, and these people have big influence and big say. And so there is a real push to try, and it's going to be critical to have those influences behind Aspen as we go forward. Because, we glibly make these comments, I hear them, and I get a bit irritated. Now, we're not safe till we're all safe. From an African perspective and a South African perspective as well, it's a very simple. We not safe till we're all safe, but guess what? We'd like to access that safety at the same time. And the only way to do that is to have your own capabilities. And what I've learned through this pandemic and what we've learned organizationally is that you need companies like Johnson & Johnson who actually come. They invest, they had all the European and US facilities, but they took the chance to back a company in Africa. That company has become their leading supplier, and they've shared resources and skills transfers, and it's made a massive difference that give people huge confidence that we can make vaccines at scale and at quality in Africa. And the one piece that's missing, Sally, is the tech transfer. It's the same point I made to President Macron and President Ramaphosa, that if we could own the license and the capabilities, we could then say to you, South Africa, we're delivering 5 million vaccines to you tomorrow. Africa, we're delivering 3 million vaccines for you. So that's a critical point. And that's a point that's missing here is tech transfers. And so that is why our funders could be really important to us, because they are people that have influence in all the political corridors. So a very exciting opportunity and exciting development for Aspen.
When you say tech transfer, I automatically think about the BioNTech deal that was also announced recently to set up a vaccine hub. I think it was with BioVac, rather. Just talk to me about what this deal means. 10 billion, you say it's a commercial loan, so it's not like it's a gift, and you've got to obviously make good on that and make sure that all the plans work out. Talk to me about what the money is going to be used for and what the timelines are.
So the money that we're getting is simply going to substitute existing funding that we have. What we are hopeful for is they are already talking about extra or additional volumes. And these are important for Aspen because we've got facilities. We need to keep them warm. We want to keep improving as a company, both technically and and improve all our skill set and keep producing vaccines, because this is what we all want and all need. We've had a dreadful setback with the failure of the drug substance in the American company Emergent, and we've had to go to Plan B, which I'm very happy to say our teams are out there. We've got chemicals coming from Europe, and we are producing millions and millions of vaccines as we speak. But what we're really looking for is people who want to utilize our capacities, because we want to expand. We'd really like as a company to be in a situation where we've got capacity to cover our continent. Of course, we're a global company, we want to help the globe, but our primary focus is Africa, and to assist Africa. And then also we'd like in time to assist those African countries that want to be capacitated as well. So we're never in a situation where we have a pandemic and we're at the back of the queue. Remember, we've got the money, and Africa's got the money. They've got the money, they're prepared to pay. They just can't access product. So, the rest of the world the developed world have been pretty successful in accessing product. So we now need to create a situation where we are independent and have our own independence to be able to say, guess what, we can do this for ourselves.
All right, so talk to me about doing it for ourselves completely, because I know that the Johnson & Johnson deal is a fill and finish. Are you talking about sort of patent rights and tech rights to do absolutely everything, and will this money allow you to get there?
Yeah, I think we are. I think we would be absolutely in favor of people who are prepared to do a tech transfer. We're not asking for nothing. We're not asking for favors. We're happy to pay a royalty. We're happy to pay whatever it takes. We're not looking for patent waivers. We're looking for people who are saying, listen, we're going to put lives. Lives are the most important thing that we've got here. Access is critical. So, yes, we will shift the ability, because our limitation at the moment is an ability to make the drug substance, which is what goes into the product, part of what goes into the product. And so if we could have access to those technologies sooner rather than later, we're in a position to have independence. The funding, with respect, the funding is positive for us, but we, as Aspen, we could raise the funding ourselves independently. But more importantly, our apologies for repeating this, is you've got leaders of the World Banks, leaders of the biggest countries in the world, and having those countries support us and support Aspen in particular with such a massive loan is critical to being able to create the necessary influence so that if ever we have a pandemic or even the existing scenario, we're in a situation where people say, we've got somebody, we've got a go-to company in Africa who can actually deliver, and we are supportive, and we've got a financial investment in making sure they do well. I think that for us is the most important part of what's been achieved here. It is historic, and it's their biggest investment in healthcare, and it's a critical part of what they've committed to globally, and the fact that they've chosen Aspen as to be centre stage here is something we're particularly proud of.
How soon are we going to see that money making a difference in terms of vaccine rollout? And just while you answer that question, just tell me how much has rolled out of the factory at Burdett so far from Johnson & Johnson?
So the factory, when we manufacture, we're sitting with millions. Look, it's not our vaccine to talk about, so it really is for J&J. What I can tell you is what is on our floors. We are sitting with millions of vaccines manufactured, and they now await testing. That testing normally takes a couple of weeks, and we have managed to secure a steady supply of the drug substance. Our problem's never been Aspen's capacity. It's with the loss of the drug substance in the US, there's shortage of the drug substance. And so we have managed to access sufficient drug substance to keep going. And we've got millions of units already manufactured, and those units should be released within the next couple of weeks. Not all of them are going to go to South Africa. Bear in mind there's stock that Europe are supplying part of the drug process, and we've got a real commitment to our neighbours in Africa as well. But there's certainly sufficient stock to keep South Africa in pretty good shape.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time this evening. CEO of Aspen, Stephen Saad, telling us more about that 10 billion rand commercial loan, which is going to help that company roll out more and more vaccines.